A vanishing act that still haunts the skies. Imagine boarding a flight and simply disappearing. That's exactly what happened on March 8, 2014, when Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 vanished without a trace. A Boeing 777, 239 souls on board. No distress call, no debris, just silence. The flight was bound for Beijing but never arrived. Now, more than a decade later, in 2025, we're still searching for answers. But fresh clues, new tech, and bold theories might finally crack the case. Could we be on the verge of solving aviation's greatest mystery? The last known moments, Flight MH370 took off from Malaysia and headed north toward China. Everything seemed normal for the first 38 minutes. The last words heard from the cockpit were calm. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Then just after crossing into Vietnamese airspace, the plane's transponder, a device that shows its location, was switched off. Not failed, switched off. From that point, MH370 vanished from radar. The first panic. When air traffic controllers in Vietnam couldn't find the plane, they contacted Malaysia. At first, both countries were confused. Was it a communications issue? A systems failure? Hours passed before search and rescue teams were sent out, but they were looking in the wrong place. For the first few days, efforts were focused in the South China Sea. Meanwhile, MH370 had already turned sharply west, crossed back over Malaysia, and continued flying, completely off course, for nearly 6 more hours. The satellite clue that changed everything. About a week into the investigation, a British satellite company, Inmarsat, made a game-changing discovery. Even though the plane's transponder was off, the aircraft was still automatically pinging a satellite every hour. These pings were part of a system that quietly checks in with the ground, even when the plane is otherwise silent. These signals allowed investigators to trace the plane's path, sort of. They couldn't pinpoint the exact location, but they could narrow it down to a giant arc across the Indian Ocean. This is how the now famous 7th Arc was born, a long, curved line in the southern Indian Ocean that became the center of a new search zone. New search zone, new hope, and crushing disappointment. Search crews shifted to the Indian Ocean and began one of the largest and most expensive ocean searches in history. Australia led the effort with help from over 25 countries. For years, ships scanned the ocean floor using sonar and deep-sea submarines. But the ocean is unforgiving. The area is remote, with depths up to 6,000 meters, nearly 20,000 feet, and strong underwater currents. They found shipwrecks, old barrels, and natural ridges, but no plane. A breakthrough. In July 2015, more than a year after MH370 vanished, a piece of an airplane wing called a Flaperon washed up on Reunion Island, east of Madagascar. It was confirmed to be from MH370. Over the next few years, more pieces of debris were found on the coasts of Mozambique, Tanzania, and South Africa. Some were even recovered by private citizens walking on the beach. All matched the same Boeing 777 Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. These discoveries confirmed the plane crashed somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. But where exactly? That remains a mystery. So what happened? The theories that won't die. With limited physical evidence, both experts and the public have tried to fill in the gaps surrounding MH370's disappearance with a mix of scientific theories and speculative ideas. The first major theory is that the plane was hijacked. This seemed likely at first because the transponder was turned off and the aircraft changed direction without notifying air traffic control, signs that pointed to deliberate action. However, the theory lost weight when no terrorist group claimed responsibility, no ransom was demanded, and no evidence of a struggle or forced entry was found. The second theory, and perhaps the most controversial yet widely supported, is that the pilots were involved. Investigators focused on Captain Zaharie Ahmad Shah, a highly experienced pilot with over 18,000 flying hours. He owned a home flight simulator, and records showed he had practiced routes that eerily matched the plane's suspected final path into the southern Indian Ocean. While this doesn't prove he intended harm, it raises deeply unsettling questions. Could this have been a deliberate suicide mission? Did the captain depressurize the cabin, silently killing everyone on board before crashing into the sea? Some experts believe so, though there's still no direct evidence of his intent. A third theory suggests mechanical failure or fire. In this scenario, a sudden event, like an electrical failure or fire, could have disabled the plane's systems and overcome the crew, allowing the aircraft to fly on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. But this doesn't explain the sharp turn the plane made after losing contact, which implies human involvement. Lastly, a darker theory proposes a military accident or cover-up. Some believe MH370 may have entered restricted military airspace and was accidentally shot down. Speculation has focused on radar sightings near Diego Garcia, a U.S. military base, though no government has provided evidence to support this, and no wreckage shows signs of missile damage. Yet this theory still thrives among those who are skeptical of government transparency and suspect a larger cover-up at play. What experts now believe? In recent years, a growing number of aviation experts and investigators have pointed to a chilling possibility: that the disappearance of Flight MH370 was not an accident, but a deliberate act, most likely carried out by someone in the cockpit. The evidence paints a haunting picture. The plane's transponder, which allows it to be tracked, was turned off, intentionally. Then the aircraft made a sharp U-turn, flying back over Malaysia before veering onto a mysterious path that seemed carefully plotted to dodge radar detection. It's believed the flight then continued silently, gliding on autopilot over the vast Indian Ocean until it ran out of fuel and plunged into the sea, far from any land or rescue. This theory, supported by several independent investigations and even some official reports, points to someone with expert-level aviation knowledge being in control for hours after the plane vanished. But here's the catch. Without the flight's black boxes, which contain the cockpit voice recordings and flight data, we're left in a fog of theories. The truth may be out there, but for now, it remains frustratingly out of reach. Ocean Infinity. In 2018, hope took a high-tech turn. A U.S. company named Ocean Infinity stepped in with underwater drones that could scan the ocean floor faster and more accurately than ever before. Their mission? To finally locate the missing Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. They covered a jaw-dropping 112,000 square kilometers, an area larger than many countries. But the ocean kept it secret. Nothing was found. Still, Ocean Infinity didn't quit. In 2024, they returned with cutting-edge upgrades, smarter drones, sharper sensors, and stronger data tools. And here's the twist. They offered to take the financial risk themselves. They'd only get paid if they found the plane. That bold offer reignited global interest. The Malaysian government is now in serious talks to approve the new mission. This could be the final shot at solving aviation's biggest mystery. And Ocean Infinity might be the last hope to bring answers home. The emotional toll. For the families of the 239 people on board, the pain has never gone away. They've lived in limbo. No wreckage, no full answers, no closure. Every year on March 8th, memorials are held in Malaysia, China, and around the world. Photos of loved ones are displayed, candles are lit, and questions are asked over and over. Some believe the truth is being hidden. Others simply want the wreckage found, no matter what the cause. Why can't we find it? Many people still ask, with all the satellites, radars, and tracking systems we have today, how can a giant airplane like Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 just disappear without a trace? The truth is, our technology is not as all-seeing as we often believe, especially when it comes to the vast and mysterious ocean. The suspected crash site lies deep in the southern Indian Ocean, in a remote area where the ocean floor plunges over 4,000 meters, 13,000 feet. At such depths, traditional human divers can't reach it, and even advanced underwater drones struggle due to intense pressure, darkness, and rough underwater terrain. On top of that, the Indian Ocean is massive, covering nearly 20% of the Earth's surface. It has fast-moving, unpredictable currents that can scatter plane debris across thousands of miles in every direction. A wing fragment or seat cushion could travel for months before washing up on a distant beach, or never be found at all. Some experts believe the plane may have glided into the water rather than crashing at high speed, which could explain the lack of any explosion, fireball, or splash that would trigger satellite sensors or be picked up by nearby ships. To make matters worse, the last known data came from a few brief satellite handshakes, not GPS or radar. These signals only give a rough arc of where the plane might have flown, leaving a search zone the size of a small country. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack, without knowing where the haystack even begins. MH370 in pop culture. The story of MH370 has captured the world's imagination. It has been the subject of Netflix documentaries, YouTube investigations, Reddit threads, and countless books. Each theory finds its followers. Some believe the plane landed secretly. Others think it was abducted by aliens or lost in a Bermuda Triangle of the Indian Ocean. But experts warn, don't confuse mystery with fantasy. Real people were on that flight. Real families are still grieving. Could it happen again? Yes, and that's exactly why solving the MH370 mystery matters so much. The tragedy sparked changes in aviation. Planes now send automatic position updates more often, satellite tracking is improving, and airlines are rethinking pilot system control. But here's the catch. Many experts believe these updates still fall short. Until we truly uncover what happened to MH370, those hidden vulnerabilities continue to fly silently with us on every journey. In conclusion, a mystery that still haunts Flight MH370 is one of the greatest aviation mysteries of our time. It has left behind a trail of questions, heartbreak, and frustration. What happened that night in March 2014? Was it pilot sabotage, mechanical failure, or something else entirely? For now, only the sea knows the truth, but new searches may yet bring answers. And for the families, the world, and aviation itself, that truth is long overdue. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to follow for more real mysteries and deep dive investigations. Share your thoughts below. Do you think the truth will ever come out? Thanks for watching.